Hey everybody, so I'm doing this book review on the latest book by Sherrilyn Kenyon. It's part of the League series called Born of Blood. Now I'm going to just say some disclaimer stuff. I believe this book came out this 2022, so I'm a little late. Sherrilyn Kenyon's book schedule is messed up right now. She went through a lot of personal and legal issues over the last couple years, so her books have not been kept up, but she's starting to write again. If you're an avid reader or fans of hers, then you already know this. If you're a new fan coming in, this just little FYI. Now, this book is way already into the League series. So if you would like to read the League series, I would recommend you going back to book 1, which is Born of Night. Now, the League series is about a group of mercenary assassins who try to basically overthrow the League, which is kind of like the governing police force of the universe they're in. Now, this is fantasy, so it deals with some aliens and space and stuff like that, but it does not take away from the action, the kind of suspense and romance of the story. Okay, now on to the book review. This book is about Jayne. She's one of the founding members of the Sentinel, I'm not sure what it is or how to pronounce it. And she's like the only female of that founding members. Jayne had a rough life. Her father was a known bank robber, and he took her through some stuff. I will say Jayne's story kind of broke my heart, but I knew that she had her happy ending because she was in other books. I will say I'm disappointed that this book is so short. It's a novella. I believe Jayne deserves her own story. But I will say this. I think she will be featured in a lot of the other stories coming up. Because what Sherrilyn Kenyon is doing now is she's kind of doing a time jump with some stories, putting the kids' stories out there so you know them. That's what we're hoping she's doing. I'm not really sure. I can't say. Like I said, everything's been up in the air. But because there's like 2 books that actually have the adults, kids featured in them, because she had lost her publisher and she had to go to another publisher. So she started off writing about the kids, and then, writer, she got all her stuff back. But anyway, I digress. So this book is about Jayne and Harridan. I never say the names right. So like I said, Jayne's one of the founding members of this mercenary assassin group. They kind of police the League because the League is corrupt. And Hadrian is one of the last surviving members of the Tristani royal house. If you never read the books before and you just interested in this one, the Tristani is a race of psychically gifted humans who invented basically like space travel and all this stuff, but people were scared of the powers they had, so they hunted them to extinction. They even have a special kind of trackers for them called chillers. So Hadrian's hiding. Jayne takes a contract because, of course, she's an assassin. She doesn't want to be, but, no one will give her a chance because of who her father was. Jayne wants to be a teacher. And it just breaks my heart because, like, she's trying to get out of a bad situation and no one will let her, basically because they're judging her on her father. Which, hey, that happens in real life all the time, right? So Jayne goes to get Harridan, and her warrant gets up from just a retrieval to a spill kill, which a spill kill is just one of the worst assassin contracts you can have. So, they have these little heroin escapes and their chemistry is building, the basic romance. What I do like about this book is it gives you snippets into Jayne's past that you never would have known. which I feels like she could expand it on it. And like I said, I don't know if she's planning on writing the kids' books. And that's why we're not getting the full story of Jayne. Or she was just like, let me just give my fans something because they've waited for years. Which is fine, she's got to get back in her game. I love the fact that we find more out about Nero, who is another character in the book. And I cannot wait for Nero's book. Nero is a fascinating character. He's more mystery than anybody else. And I just dying, like I'm at the bit like, oh, come on. I need that book. But this was a cute little novella. I would say definitely read it. It's part of the Eve of Destruction kind of sub-series into it. And Eve is Jayne's sister, so you find out a little bit more about that. Which I never knew Jayne had a sister, and I've been reading this series for years. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah. I would say if you're listening to this and you're like, yo, that sounds interesting, go back to book 1. It is Born of Night. It's in the League series. I'm hoping and praying we get the next book out, which is supposed to be Rye's book, and then Nero's book's coming after that, but we don't have any tentative release dates because, like I said, she had legal and personal issues that pushed everything aside. But other than that, it's definitely a good novella. If you've read this series, don't expect this a full novel. You're going to be mad. Just don't. But I would say if you need something to read quick in the middle of the night, you can't sleep, pick it up. You'll be done in a couple hours. All right, guys, that's it. This review is probably horrible because I have a headache, but oh well, it is what it is. I just want to get this off my mind as soon as I can. I'm trying to get better. I don't know. But all right, guys, have a good one. Bye.